Howdy. Firstly, this will be a soft-spoken video, not a whisper this time. This video is a long time coming because about a year ago I made a video where I was starting to build this, and in this video I'm going to finally complete it. So this is how far I got. So this is a music box. Well, it will be a music box when it's finished. So if you want to stay with me, we're going to do the last few pages and see if it works. So I had got to, there's quite a few pages. So this is what the finish article will look like, and I had done quite a few. I think what's often with these, they often look more complicated than they are each section. And I was on the television screen pieces, which is just here. So you've got what will be the speaker just there, and I had placed these pieces and I had completed these corner pieces. So I'm going to go over. So I am listening to music while I do this, which is why it's easier for me to do spoken. So the next part we have to do length of the double-sided adhesive tape. Remove the film on the surface of the PET sheet before using. So I do still have quite a few pieces that are left to be used in these bags, and pieces. So we'll just work out what section that is. Okay, I've moved it a bit higher so you can see a bit better. So just pressed against those. Just like that. Yeah, I moved that a bit. Press that against this. There we go. So press that on, that's pressed against the corner. So this is where I'm going to find the sheet P21. Okay, yeah, so that's the one in the bag. So try try and be careful, this bag's a little bit noisy. So we're wanting AM T0144, which is this bag. And we're wanting these little corner pieces. It should be 4 of those. Just try not to make too much noise. Just there. Wait to empty these out so I can get to them. 1, 2, 3, and where's the other one? 1, 2, 3. I don't think I've opened this bag, so anything got stuck inside. There we go. Got stuck inside the foot of the TV stand. I need to use the scissors for this. It's got a bit. There we go. Pop those back in. So, I'm going to turn this one around and put these into the corners so you can see you've got bits. So there is a piece on here I've taken off for the time being because if it's just in there. But these are so shallow, these pins. It doesn't get a great grip and it kind of falls out. So I'm leaving that off for the time being. So we're going to place those. Yeah, there you go. You hear a little click. Two. Okay. 3. And number 4. Okay. So place those 4 pieces. That's what it looks like. And then we want, so this is where the boards come back into place. We want C11. There are 2 pieces. So there are boards. And this is the C board. So you've got C11. So it's these. So all the boards are like punch. You kind of press the pieces out. They are quite sturdy, but you do want to be careful because some of them had a bit of a close call. You've kind of pressed too, or not even too hard, and it's been a bit fragile. So I'm trying to be careful. that's one. C11. And we're doing the second. I turn it over. Oops, there we go. Let's do in one piece, yeah. Just a couple more pieces on this one to use at some point. So we've got our two C11s. So we've got our two C11s. When it shows this picture, it means you want the decorative side, the side that has the picture or the colour, to be facing out. That's the plain side. Now it looks like it's got the longer piece on the top. So that will be like that. And the bottom, it looks like the longer piece on the bottom. So let me just check. And C12. Yeah, so C11. Okay, so I had to check it, the angle that it goes on this way. Sometimes the diagram, not sure if it goes at a right angle or flat, and I think that goes flat. So it rests just like that. So in the top, you can either press it or slide it. Slight angle. I got that the right way around. Yeah. Let's try it. Pressing it. Doesn't quite want to go in on that side. Oh no, I think it is. Yeah, it is there. It's on a bit of an angle. I think it's supposed to be like that. Just go with it. So you've got the top. So that's the 11s. I think now we're going to be doing the frame. So we want two C12s, which is these C12 and two P20s. Okay, so let's punch out the C12s and we'll find those P20s. Okay, that's a bit easier than now. C11s and P20s are in the AMT0143 bag, which is, yeah, this bag has got some clouds left. So, yeah, it's just one P20. So, this is where you want C20s. we want the decorative side on the inside. I think it's got the taller bit, so we want it like that. And P20 is going to face in. So it's got the notches facing away, and it rests into the bottom. Okay. So this should slot into there. There we go. This side should slot into there. See how sturdy that is. Okay. It's a little bit wobbly. I'm wondering if that should. Some of these pieces click right into place. It seems more like it's going to rest, maybe because it's going to fix in place with those. And then it's going to fix that. Yep. You can see it's going to fix. So let's see how this goes. We've got the notches in the corner. So let's see if this will just slot into place, hopefully. That's better. Should line up with the this. So press that. So it's the right hand side. Left. Seems a bit taller. Okay, does that look right? It's lining up. There we go, that's better. So press that in. Oops, so it lines in at the back. Okay, so you've got the frame. Just give that a press. Yep, that's them. Okay, so we've done this step. Okay, there's a lot more going on in this second bit. So after inserting P22 into the wooden board, tilt slightly towards the printed side. Okay, but we want to do this bit. The notch of P22 faces upward. Okay, yeah, so we want to do this bit first, which is the dials on the front. That's what was in that big bag. Okay. Got 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7 pages. Okay, so we want bag AMT0144, which is this one, and we want P22, which I think is the 2 dials. I think it's that one. I think it's these. Okay, so let's just check. Yeah, that looks like them. Don't want that one. Okay. I think this is a good time. Let's have a quick sip of tea. Okay. So the notch of P22 faces upward. So I'm guessing that's, yeah, it's got the V. So they both face this way and they go into the front of this, like so. Let's just check. Is there anything? No, there's nothing to fix. Like that. Now, so they look like that. Now it says, after inserting the P22 into the wooden board, tilt slightly towards the printed side. Okay, so this is the next big step. I'm going to put this onto the main board, just here. Just show you a bit of this before we're going to cover it. See, there's 2 levels, and you've got the motor underneath, just there. Now, oopsie daisy, don't worry, I'll pop that back in. So we're going to put, okay, so tilt, insert into the bottom grooves. Okay, this is where I'm going to pause just for a moment so I can peruse these instructions and not mess it up. Okay, I thought this wasn't going to slot in, but it did. And I also forgot that I didn't peel the screen off. Because I was placing that bit in and it wasn't quite catching on there, but it did. So now, slight angle. Just this part, but then there is a wire. So I think this next page is going to show me where to plug that into. Yeah, parts placement reference. So we turn this around. The wire is coming from the speaker in the middle. This I've got to feed that through. So let's bring that around. I think that's come out. So this one, which is a speaker, I think that goes into the third. Okay, let's have a look. It goes into the, is that the second one? Must be the second one. So I'll do one in there. Because that's the carousel. I might just check the YouTube just to make sure. I'm saying it's this one. Should slot in. Okay, so let me just check. Yeah, I don't know what this one is doing, poking out. Unless when I did that step it did say to leave it out. I just double check. Yeah, double checked. That goes into the very end one. I think it must have just slipped out. Right. Okay. So place those parts. Okay, it was taking that long that my music track finished. I had to put it back to restart. So place that into there. Yeah, to place the speaker. I'm sure that is the second one. It's the only spot there is. And now I'm going to put the two handles on. So we want the bag AMT0144 again. And we want the two, we want P23. I think that looks like. Let's get them out and check. There's only two circular ones in here, so it's got to be those. Yep. So put that out of the way. So they look slightly different. So you've got P24, which has the grooves around it. So that's P24. It's daisy. And that's P23. So turn this back around. And make sure I've got those lined up. It says align the convex points of P23 and P24 with the concave notches of P22. Align the convex points. Okay, so we've got P24 is on the right. Okay, this is a bit of an angle now. Might need to get something. So convex points. So yeah, you can see you've got there 2 notches there. So you just want to line those up. Doesn't say if you're supposed to press it or just line it. Oh, there we go. Yep. And then it turns. Okay, perfect. And then we've got this one. So you want the top and the 2. Oh dear. Trying to do this with one hand. Be interesting. Is there a spot? Oh yeah, the dots at the top. There we go. Yeah. Let's turn that back to the top. Okay, we're getting there. Then what is the next step? Okay, just place it down. Support the board with hands when assembling C2. Okay, this is where I'm going to find the board. C2. Okay, I think that's on. Oh yeah, I can see that. C2. So let's find. I can see. Okay, so let's just see. Well, this whole board is C2. Already taken out the parts, used them earlier. These pieces. So we're going to punch, or not punch, we're going to press this out. That looks a bit like a batarang shape. We don't need these. This is C2. You can see the shape there. Support the board with hands when assembling C2. So C2 with the plane. So it's not got a cog, that means the plane side is facing this way. Because this is going to be the background that you see. Now I'm going to need to place this onto the back behind the sky wheel, and it will look like that. Hopefully, let's give it a try. I should have probably tested the electrics before I put this completely together, but we'll just go with it. I'm not sure if this. Yeah, I'm gonna punch the rest of these pieces out. Yep, there we go, that's better. And turn this around. So we've got 1, 2, and that's where these are going to go. So very gently, and then just light press. They should sticks in there. It shouldn't just rest, it should. Just want to be very careful, I don't want to break it. And that square wheels a little bit. There we go. So I want to hear it all. There we go. That's, yeah, that side. It's a bit of pressure from underneath. Just do. Excellent. Yeah, that's firmly in place. There we go. Okay, so we've got that in place. We're on to step 11, which is a new board, A1, and some pieces. Okay, so I'm going to find the A1 board and those pieces. Okay, so I've got A1. I'm going to move this out of the way just for the moment. So this is the A board. These are a lot of the A pieces. A1 is this. So we're going to press. This one's a bit sturdier, so you can be a bit more. There we go. Still a couple more pieces. We don't want to get rid of this board. Put that to the side, and we need a bag. So we need the bag AMT0144 again. And we need part 25, P25, P26, right and left. So first I want to make sure I've got this board the right way around that the picture shows. Yeah. So all the notches are how it says, yeah. We want it the decorative side up, not the plain side. So just put that there for a second. This is our P25, 26. See if I can open this. I need to get the scissors. There we go. Okay. 2 pieces. Do they look the same? They look the same. Just check they've not got none that looks too different. Okay. Maybe the ends are different. Okay, yeah, because they're on different sides. So I want to make sure that the okay, so I think that's the left. That looks similar. That side. And this one Yeah. The dots. So they go underneath, through the middle. With the notch just there, that's going to come up through here. Should do. We do it this way, it's easier. There we go, that's it. And then this side. For 50 minutes. Okay, yep. So it's fixed. It's easy. Done that. Okay, and then we've got the clouds. Yeah, because this is like the roof. It's going to go on the top. So you've got the clouds coming underneath. So we want P18 and P19, which are in this. The chunky bag. No, not this one. This one. That's one bag finished. Doesn't really matter which way around. But this one. Okay, so we've got the two there, which is these two. So that goes underneath. Let me just check I've got that the right way around. Yeah, that is the right way. Don't know why I'm doubting myself there, but it makes it. So, place this there. Press. And this one goes between these two notches. Just there we go. So clouds. And then we want P12 and E20. Okay, so we're going to make something a little bit fiddly here. P12 is in the AMT0142 bag. 42. Yes. So this is the LED wires. And we want E20, which is from one of the boards. Yeah. Okay. So where is E20? E20. E20. Yep. So yeah, still this E20 just here. And okay, so we're going to get the P12 wire, and we want the end. Let's have a look. So we've got two pieces here. Well, we want the one with the bulb. Yeah. P12 has the long wire, and we want to clip that into the E20. Not sure if it matters which way around. So we push this through, and it needs to be face down. There we go. It's got a slight kink to it, the wire. Like it doesn't want to face down. Or if maybe that should be just inside so it doesn't come out. Let's press. There we go. Okay. And we want the E28 and E35. E28, E35. Okay. So we've got E35, just two pieces, like two bridges. And it doesn't matter that's broken because that's not part of the E28. Still one more, no, two more pieces on there. That might be a spare piece actually, but I'll keep that to the side. Okay, so E35s go up into the E28. I don't think it matters which way around. Let's be careful I don't break. There we go. That's one. And two. Then we want E37. Okay, so that was the piece. The one piece that was left. E37. No, it's E32. Found it. E37. 7. Okay, so now these are going to place on the ends to keep that in place. Okay, so they go from below to keep the wire in place. So to put that underneath. Okay, I can see one side to this fit. Okay, I've got that piece. This bulb's going to keep doing that. And this goes underneath. There we go. Yep. And then this. Got this board. Okay, yeah, where you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got the 6. So I'm going to press that through. Oops. Do you want to make sure I'm putting that the right way round? Yeah. Okay, these ones a bit. That's not quite. Shouldn't have to do it that way, but there we go. Okay. When assembling, support the boards lightly with hands. Okay, so this is where we're going to place the top. Okay, so you want it this way around. And this way around. And it's going to, as we've got to line these up. got a notch at the front, just here, line up with that. That should do. Ever so gently. Okay, I'm going to turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I got there in the end. It's a little bit fiddly, this top pieces to line up, and in the process of putting the top bit on, these two pieces fell off, so I need to pop them in the page left. Okay, so we need to work out where this wire goes. Straighten the wire, then insert it into the groove. Insert the wires into grooves from up to down to ensure they cannot fall down. Okay, so hook it down. It's going to go down and it's going to go into... should be one slot. No, that doesn't seem right. I've already got one in there. That doesn't seem right. I have one sort of left on the side. So it goes into this one. Let's have a look. Okay, so switch the speaker motor, which it was in this one, but it needed to be in this one, so that the light wire could come down and that one goes into the second one. Just took that down like that. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to see that wire if I tuck that round. There we go. Might need a bit more tape for this screen. I have to say, I did pause it a few times to get this lid on. There was a little bit of swearing because it was a little bit awkward. So we've inserted the wire. We're now on to part 12. So we want the circular disc, which is P37, which I think is this. And we want quite a few pieces here. We want E32, E6, 2E6, E8, E9, A13 and a 12. So these are what's going to fix to the back. This is going to be like the sunset. It's like twirling in the background. Okay, and we're also going to need some of the sandpaper in the pack because that's a cog. Okay, so I'm going to find these pieces. Okay, so we want 2E6s, these two, so E6, and we want E8, E9, E9, 2 E6s, E8, E9. Do you want E32, which is on this one? It's a bit smaller. So E32 is by itself on the other side. And then we want A12 and A13. So I've got A12 and A13. Okay. It always looks a bit more complicated when there's more pieces, but it's not as much as you think. So let's put the A's to the side. We do need to sand E32, just this one. So you do get sand and paper in the pack. So just give that sand. I think there's about 2.5 pages left. So nearly there. I might have to split this video into two because I doubt anyone's going to sit through this for nearly 2 hours. Unless it does send you off to sleep, which isn't a bad thing. Okay. So you want the circular piece plain side like this. This is our E32, which is going to be on this side. You want E6. You want one E6, then one E8, which is slightly smaller, and then the other E6. And then these are going to be pinned into place with the E9, which is going to slot through, guessing. So it says about just sanding the E32, but I actually had to sand all of this because these weren't just slotting on like they should do at all. But there we go, got that now. And then that should fix into this. Not sure how far that does go. The E35. I don't know if that goes all the way. That's meant to go all the way through. Makes it look like it does. So check. Okay, so I've placed the disc on the back. Now we have to add a band. So we need P6, which is in the bag AMT014. 4-1, which is this one. So this band, and we're going to place it around the bottom. We also need a 10 piece. There's a bit of sanding paper in there. So you've got the board A10. Okay, there we go. We need to sand that a bit. Just a bit. Okay, so we're going to be placing this in there. It's going to top down, and it's going to go this second cog. So it might be place that. Quite want to go down, and then around this cog. I've been a bit wary of this one. It's a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that's okay. And the A10. Okay, so that hooks on the cog and the top. And it does say to sand A10 in the middle. So just get the sanding paper. Okay. Yeah. So let's put this wire underneath. As you can see, that hooks there and it hooks in here. Hopefully it stays in one piece. Just give it a light press. Definitely is that piece, isn't it? Need to bring that a bit lower. Don't know why that's not. There we go. Just have to be a bit firm with it. Okay. Yep. Okay. So if we turn that around, you can see the, oops, I've dropped the yellow in the background. Okay. So one thing with this, sometimes you can knock another piece over while you're doing something else. So you've done that. Let's go. So we're on to part 13. Let's turn you round. Might need to put you a bit lower. So part 13 is making the board, the electrical board. Okay, let's have a check. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way because the next part is using the board. Which is this piece here, and we want P13, which is this long wire, and A14. There are 11 pieces because these are kind of like the staples that are going to hold them into place, the light beads. Okay, so first it's going to be plain side, and these are the A14s. That's not a piece, that's just the middle. Get rid of those, don't need them. Just punch all those out. Okay, still A21s. Okay, this is our light strip, so you can see the very small, the lights. So you're going to start from the end. So I might bring you a bit lower to see this bit. Okay, so start. There's an indentation just there, which we start the end of that one with. Then we get, I guess you call these like a bracket, and pop those in to fix them in place. And then press. Okay. And then along to this one. Press. Then it goes round. Okay, a bit lower. So you do just curve it around, doesn't matter. And then this one. Doesn't quite line up. So I'm following the map. I'm going to go down here, and it curves around. I'm goes along here. So let's pop this one. Might speed this bit up. These don't all quite line up. And then goes around. Okay, that just. Why do I have one? Oh yeah, it did say there was 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I guess that's a spare or for something. So the light bead should face outwards, which they are. They're away from the knot. And then we want E7 and A21. E7 and A21. So is there an A21 here? Yep. So it's 2. Oops, not do that. These two don't want to come out. Okay, one piece. Two pieces. I think that's everything from that board now. So A21 and E7. E7. Just there. Okay, so we're going to place E7 like this, A21, let's put it this way, yeah, I need to sand those pieces. pages. I think just have this, maybe the side pieces after this. Just fix them. Okay, let's try again. So they fit this way, but the picture shows them this way. And then that goes just there. Press that down. Okay. And then this back piece, I'm going to put to the back, and we're going to connect this into, there's only one remaining slot left. So it shows how they hook in. So let's see if we can do this. I may need to pause this part if it is a little, it's a bit awkward. I say that. I've kind of lost this part again. I think these are kind of finishing touches. I'll do those at the end because they'll just keep coming off. Okay. So I might raise you up again so you can see this. Okay, the next piece is 14 are the side pieces. So going to need the so let's pop this to this side a bit, and these are our side pieces. I'm going to punch those out. This video is about 2 hours long and not in the most comfortable seating position, so let's try and get this done. So this is the inside. Okay, so remove the film on the surface before using. When pasting the transparent sheet, align the top with the edge of the circle as shown. Make sure it can cover the hollow out areas. So placing it on the inside. So we want to find remove the film on the surface. So which side is it on? There we go. Got the sticky strips. So let's it's a bit wonky, but never mind. It is slightly bowed at the back or in the front, but can't do much about that. Let's peel this off. And, oh, it's got to clean. So we're going to put strip. Oh, that's a cat, maybe jump. Make sure that align with the top edge of the circle. Okay, so let's pop a strip there. And piece there. Align the top with the edge of the circle. So let's get my scissors. Let's try and peel this. Okay, so I placed the sides on. It is a little bit bowed in the back. Just need to place that on again. It's popped off. Just press these in. There we go. I might need to leave that back bit slightly out because it's just not quite lining up. So got the feet left to do and the antennae. Hopefully this stays together. Oh dear, that wire is poking out as well. That wasn't doing that a moment ago. I did hook that in. We need to unhook that. That's a bit unfortunate. So my phone battery is getting very low. So I'll show you how far I've got to. And so there is a bit of a frame to stick in there, but it was a bit fiddly. I think I'm going to have to do some tweaking because the music plays, but it's getting quite stuck there. It didn't get stuck when I tested it earlier in the build, but I think I might need to tweak something at the back so it will turn. Yeah, so if you're still here at the end, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.